We open the 213th Commencement exercises of Bowdoin College with an invocation offered by the Reverend Eduardo Pathos Palma.
Before we begin, I would like to observe a moment of silence to think about all the gun violence in the last 2017-2018 academic year. Thank you. Let us assume a posture of prayer, reflection, or meditation. We are thankful on this cloudy and rainy day for all those who are here celebrating with us, for the many sacrifices our families and communities have made alongside us, for the many lessons we learned in the last 4 years, for the faculty and college staff who have made such a profound mark in our journeys, for the trustees and their leadership of this institution. And we're thankful for the contributions and memories of those who could not be here with us today. Teach us, Creator, to walk in humility, to walk with patience. Teach us to be kind, generous, and loving. Teach us to be welcoming and accepting of difference. Guide us as we strive to be peacemakers. Give us hunger and thirst for justice, and give us courage to call out injustices around us, and wisdom to work to transform broken systems. Let truth burn within us like a flame, and let us work diligently to loose the chains of inequity. Loving One, bless us and bless this class of 2018. May they find joy, fulfillment, love, and wisdom wherever they go next. May they use the work of their hands and the work of their minds to advance the cause of the common good. May they strengthen the bonds of friendship with those who surround them today. May they work to find the essence of humanity that is in all of us and bring us together in a time of much division. And may they find themselves at home in all lands and all ages. Amen.
The national anthem will be sung by graduating members of the chamber choir, chorus, and student a cappella groups with accompaniment by George Lopez, Beckwith Artist in Residence.
So please be seated. Good morning, and welcome, polar bears, to the 213th Commencement of Bowdoin College. I'm Shelley Sear, a proud member of the class of 1976, the second class of women admitted to Bowdoin College. I'm chair of the Bowdoin College Board of Trustees and parent class of 2012. This morning we gather to honor the members of the class of 2018, who soon will be graduates of one of the most distinguished colleges in the country and the oldest college in Maine. In fact, our college is older than the state itself, with an identity and history that are inextricably linked to this beautiful and extraordinary place. Walking this campus for 4 years, living as members of the Brunswick community and among the fine people of the Mid-Coast region are all important and memorable parts of the Bowdoin experience. So it is customary at commencement for the college to invite a representative of the state to bring greetings to our soon-to-be graduating seniors. This morning, I have the privilege of introducing to you Jasper Huston, who is graduating today with a computer science major and a mathematics minor. When Jasper left for college, he didn't have too far to travel, coming to Bowdoin from Yarmouth, Maine. In fact, staying in this great state after graduation, he is a developer. Please join Huston, who will offer from the great state of Maine.
Have to fight for every inch of progress. There are long stretches in which we can sit back and relax as we drift down lazy rivers, occasionally interrupted by an exciting stretch of turbulent rapids that try to disrupt us. There have even been times in which we had to carry our boats for miles to get from one stretch of water to the next, portaging over rough, uneven terrain. However, we now find ourselves approaching the takeout, loading the boat on the car, in driving away from this expedition. As we lead ourselves away from Bowdoin, it is important to remember that Maine is a home. For me and for a few others here, Maine has been home for as long as we can remember. But for others, Maine became home just 4 years ago. Wherever life takes you after graduation, I hope you guide yourselves back here at some point, as Maine is a home that will always welcome you with wide arms and an open heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasper. Fabulous. Good morning, all. I'm Clayton Rose, the president of the college. Good morning to our class of 2018. Welcome to this glorious celebration in somewhat inglorious weather. Welcome to our honorands and our trustees, our faculty, staff, alumni. Welcome to our Brunswick neighbors, and especially to family and friends who have traveled from near and far to be with us today for this celebration on the campus of the college that we love so dearly. And to our graduates, one journey ends today and another begins. In the offer of the college, William DeWitt Hyde, our 7th president, said that these will be the best 4 years of your life. We think about them as among the best 4 years of your life, and for those who have come before you, who have either walked these steps or walked close by in the 212 graduation ceremonies that have come before, these were among the best 4 years of their lives because of the rich, wonderful, challenging, and rewarding experiences on campus, and because of the foundation of knowledge and skills, friendship, and deep sense of self that came from these experiences, and they will make your life richer every day. Now, first things first, I'd like to ask our students to stand and turn and face the audience. And first, to your parents, family, and friends, those who have supported you and loved you, and consider all that they have done to help you get here today, and please thank them with your applause. And one more, before you sit, our faculty and our staff, thank them for everything they have done to make this experience so profoundly great over the last 4 years. Thank you. This is our 213th commencement. In 1806, when our first commencement took place on these grounds, Thomas Jefferson was in the White House. Congress was in only in its 9th session, and it was 3 years before Abraham Lincoln would be born. The design of the campus has changed a little bit over time, but Massachusetts Hall, just over there, was standing and occupied. Ours is a college where we embrace change and some durable core values that underpin a great liberal arts education. To our students, many, many congratulations. You have successfully completed a challenging and compelling course of study, and you have taken full advantage of the cultural, artistic, athletic, and I dare say social aspects of Bowdoin. Your moments from leaving the world of a student and entering the world of our amazing and devoted alumni. I would like to recognize one of our graduating seniors today, Charles Phillips, who was commissioned into the United States Marine Corps yesterday. Congratulations, Charles. To our seniors, Juliana and I have enjoyed beyond words the opportunity to come to know you. We are incredibly proud of each of you, and we look forward to seeing you as alumni of our college, both back here on campus and in all of the places that you will call home. Thank you to our honorands for sharing your life, your experiences, and your remarkable accomplishments with us. Yesterday at Baccalaureate, I talked about Ed Lee, one of our remarkable alumni, the joy with which he lived his life, and the challenge to you to also find that joy. And this morning, I'd like to share with you a related idea, the singular insight that I've gleaned in my almost 60 years for what I believe is essential for a happy life. And it has nothing to do with your GPA or your smarts or the careers you'll have or the titles you'll have or the money you might make. It is all about your heart. Find and nurture the special relationships that make you whole. Find the person who will love you completely and without question, and they are out there, and give them the same. It is magic and life-changing. Should you have kids, love them completely and make your time and attention your top priority. Grow the friendships that draw out the best in you with those who love you for who you are and who are there for you as you are for them. No amount of money, no fancy titles, no other goals can come close to the life-changing satisfaction that comes from these special relationships. And nothing else, nothing will sustain you in the same way or make your life as rich. Find and nurture the special relationships that make you whole. Class of 2018, we honor and celebrate all that you have accomplished. Many congratulations and Godspeed. Our first student speaker today is Hefty Vergara Benitez, winner of the class of 1868 prize. Hefty is a Hispanic study major with a biology minor, a native of the Lone Star State, or as he is quick to say, born and raised in Austin, Texas. He claims that the main winners have made him a stronger person, and that is no doubt true for all of us. A new ability to adapt to the cold may be one thing that he takes away from Bowdoin, but Hefty says that the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts that he's received here, has been the opportunity to contribute to Professor Hadley Horch's neuroscience research. He describes Professor Horch as the embodiment of Bowdoin's high teaching standards, the idea that professors care about their students' success, and also says that working with her taught me to seriously execute seemingly small instructions with great care, no doubt a useful skill for many future endeavors. In 2015, Hefty was granted an internship at the Mexican Consulate. In 2017, he served as a legislative aide to Texas House Representative Armando Martinez, who represents their District 39, which encompasses the Rio Grande Valley along the Texas-Mexico border. And that work, Hefty says, had an intensity to it and sparked within him a passion for government work. His talk today is entitled, "Believe in Yourself, the World is Watching. The World is Waiting." Please join me in welcoming Hefty Vergara Benitez.
President Rose, members of the college, and guests, with pleasure and with gratitude, I'm happy to share a message before an esteemed group of Bowdoin students, the class of 2018. Proudly, we will proclaim our names as Bowdoin graduates. We persisted in our goal to reach this wonderful commencement ceremony. Perhaps there was a time, years before we dressed in our regalia this morning, when we faced various obstacles on this campus. It could be that we were challenged to question and evaluate our standards we were used to. There might have been times when the rigors of the intellectual spirit alive on this campus seemed too stressful for us to master. In addition to the academic challenges, problems outside the Bowdoin bubble might also have been testing our strengths. Reflecting on how far we have come since our early days as new, enthusiastic Bowdoin students, we should be proud of how intensely we believed in ourselves and our ability to stay focused as we wrestled to overcome our obstacles. We might be tempted to assume that our Bowdoin degrees are solely the result of our own sacrifices. But I propose that we look at our success in another way. There is a Mexican proverb that says, "El que a buen árbol se arrima, buena sombra la cobija." That translates to, the better the tree you find, the better the shade it provides. The better the tree you find, the better the shade it provides. This proverb not only reminds us to appreciate the beauty of the environment, but also the importance of a supportive foundation. The strongly rooted tree shelters us in times of need. The good, refreshing shade made by the tree's healthy branches heals us. I know Bowdoin was my good tree. It gave me protection, even when I had to pause my undergraduate studies for some time. Perhaps some of you can relate to my experience. My time at Bowdoin was not always a walk in the park. I had my ups and downs. I know what it feels like to believe foolishly that your admission to Bowdoin was a mistake. Maybe some of you felt without a purpose while at Bowdoin. I know I did at times, and that emptiness affected my performance. During the times when I felt I was being tested, Bowdoin's professors, deans, and counselors were on my side as I kept on moving forward, overcoming my obstacles. When I received the amazing support Bowdoin gave me, I clearly saw that I belonged here, so that I could celebrate this day with you. I am forever grateful for Bowdoin's commitment to its students, and I am honored that I got to be part of such a warm community. I am grateful to have been sheltered by the shade of Bowdoin's academic pines, as Nathaniel Hawthorne called them. The Bowdoin community worked hard so that we could enjoy our success today. Whether at Hubbard Hall, Riley House, or at Searles Science Building, intellectually rich professors, talented at exciting us about a particular subject, extended their work far after classroom hours so that we could get a little smarter, so that we could gain new understanding. After walking up that grand staircase to the second floor of Moulton Union, we met with deans who cared about our success and who helped us reach solutions seemingly far beyond our grasp. Counselors at 32 College Street helped us find peace in times that felt chaotic. And our well-being was enhanced by all the colors we absorbed from this beautiful campus. The Bowdoin beauty created by hardworking groundskeepers and cleaning crews. We are so grateful to our Bowdoin community for helping us grow. This is what makes Bowdoin so special, the cooperative effort that sustains us all. Those who have helped us also include many beyond the Bowdoin community. Parents, guardians, and mentors. You reminded us to move forward. You reminded us that we could do it. I will forever be grateful and indebted to my parents. I recognize how their choice to enter boldly into the American way of life made it possible for me to stand here today. In the early 90s, my father and mother, while carrying my small brother, faced that flowing and intimidating Rio Grande River at night. That night, my family looked towards Texas, and behind them was the motherland, Mexico. They made the hard decision to leave the life they understood to touch U.S. soil. Crossing the southern border, my parents prayed that the risk they were taking was worth it. Obstacles in Texas awaited them: unemployment, little money, or food. And hardships and moments when America was not so welcoming as they had hoped. Yet, ever since they settled on Texan land, my parents have pressed forward, creating opportunities for my brother and me. There was a good chance we could have ended up homeless. Yet, my parents worked hard to save money and purchase affordable housing on the east side of Austin, Texas. And because of the money from my mom's breakfast taco sales and my father's modest salary, my brother and I had enough school supplies to make it through each school year. My parents kept my brother and me in check so that we could reach our potential in school, so that I could become a Bowdoin graduate. And so, I would like to take this moment to say, gracias mamá, gracias papá, y gracias hermano. Excuse me. We're all blessed in many different ways to have parents, guardians, and mentors who have enabled us to make this moment a reality, despite obstacles that seemed insurmountable. Humbly, let us all direct our attention to our loved ones now and say, thank you. Of course, it is not only during times of trial that we rely on our community, but also during our best moments. As early as my orientation, the Bowdoin Science experience, I felt the warm sense of camaraderie that I have come to associate with being on campus. In between and during our science experiments, we could not stop laughing. I still cherish the friendships that began during those first few days. Throughout my time here, I have also benefited from the guidance of wonderful professors, from the work I did in Professor Hadley Horch's neuroscience lab, to the physics that Professor Dale Cyphers taught me in private. When I look back over my time at Bowdoin, it is filled with joy. For instance, late-night pub meals with friends, stressing about a problem set, suddenly became more about the delicious fajita fries. And during the historic October power outage, we again relied on delicious food from dining services and the companionship of each other to make us feel better as we felt the force of Mother Nature. Through moments like these, we persevered and strengthened our bonds with one another. We are about to leave Bowdoin. We have gained important knowledge and skills, including what it takes to live up to our responsibilities to others. Bowdoin has taught us to work towards the common good together. Now, it is our turn to help others just as others have helped us. We will meet new people in need, discover new problems to be solved. So long as people are grief-stricken after disease has taken the life of a loved one, so long as people are persecuted and harassed just because they speak out against the evils of their society, so long as people are not given access to essential resources, so long as this country and the world is haunted by wrongs of the past, we must step up to the challenge. We must move forward with determination to inspire hope for a brighter future. Inspired by the generosity of Bowdoin, let us with grace and courage inspire resilience within people so that they can win their battles. Our success in changing lives for the better will require a lot of hard work. Regardless of how hard it seems, though, we cannot back down. The lessons, the importance of community, and the perseverance we have taken to heart at Bowdoin must forever remain part of our character. Thank you so very much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Hefty. I'm pleased to introduce Helen Ross, today's second commencement speaker and the winner of the Goodwin Commencement Prize. Helen hails from Towson, Maryland. She's a government and legal studies major with a concentration in political theory. She has a minor in mathematics. She came to the government department after a quick trip to the sciences. As she puts it, I experienced my first biology lab, which changed the course of my life radically. By which I mean, I learned that I'm not good at biology. Helen has served as a reunion ambassador. She's worked all 4 years in the library's special collections area. An experience, she says, that quickly evolved from being an on-campus job and allowed her to connect Bowdoin as an institution that exists beyond the 4 years of my time on campus. Helen has just completed an honors thesis in political theory on Rousseau, Tocqueville, and the role of women in politics. And she describes the community of thesis writers in the department as providing a view of the academy as a life well lived. Just this Thursday, the government faculty awarded her the Philo Sherman Bennett Prize for the best honors project in government and legal studies. Congratulations, Helen. After spending the summer in Maine, which we should all do all the time, Helen will be moving to Chicago in September to begin graduate studies in political theory at the University of Chicago, pursuing many of the same questions that motivated her undergraduate work. Helen's speech is entitled, A Dazzling Success, Our Work and the Stories We Tell Ourselves. Please welcome Helen Ross.
President Rose, members of the college, and guests. Thank you, Hefty, for that speech, and thank you, Jasper, for welcoming us to Maine. I am very honored to be a member of the same graduating class as you both. So now first, as these things seem to go, a story from my own life. I spent the month of March, like I'm sure nearly every graduate sitting before me, contemplating job applications. Endlessly scrolling through eBay, which, for the uninitiated and the less helicopter of parents out there, is career planning's job database, otherwise known as a list of consulting internships. And buying plane tickets to second-round interviews for jobs I wasn't even sure I wanted. But as some of you know, money talks. Money talked so loudly that I almost couldn't hear myself think, egged on by the pressure to pay rent, to buy groceries, and at the same time, to add another prestigious line to my resume. I was rejected by 3 separate PhD programs in political theory in February, which also influenced this impending panic. I spent the time that I wasn't applying to soulless paralegal jobs or writing 10 words a day for my thesis thinking about these rejections. Thank you, Professor Yarbrough. I had a lot more writing on them and the implicit approval of myself that an acceptance might convey than I had thought when I sent the applications off into the void of the internet. Now, many of us have spent our entire lives up until this very moment, or at least up until, I don't know, 15 minutes from now, 2 hours, when we finally get to get our diplomas. Anyway, we've spent our lives motivated by the remarkably powerful temptation to dazzle. It has never been enough to do fine, to skate by, to generally be thought unremarkable. I, like all of you, have always wanted people to remark. I intend to spend the next 2, 10, 20 years unlearning this inclination. You're going to be told, and you will have already been told, many things by many people who are much more intelligent and much, much more experienced in the ways of the world than I am. Blame that one on the sheer passage of time. I'll get there. But let me add this one thing to the pile, or to the trash heap, you decide, of those bits of advice you receive. I won't go so far as to say words of wisdom. There are going to be many things that you try in the next 2, 10, and 20 years at which you will not immediately succeed. This is no longer high school English class, or a sport you've been playing since age 4, or whatever comes to mind when you consider a situation in which you have, innately, the ability to dazzle. Success has come easily to most of us. And many of us wear it naturally, either a second skin, a suit of armor, or a security blanket. I encourage us all to shed a few layers. It is often the undazzling that is the heart and root of anything great. I don't here mean only forgotten work, although I ought to include that right now. The kind of jobs that scarcely earn a living wage, but which entail the necessities of human life. However, by the undazzling, I also mean first drafts, forgotten attempts, long hours of practice. I mean, well, it pays the rent. I mean uncomfortable first apartments. I mean making a meal from Whole Food samples. Any work worth doing, and worth doing with a full heart, will not come easily. A life well lived is, I suspect, composed from these hidden failures and public mediocrities. There is no paycheck nor stock option attached to this commitment. There is, however, at least I believe, a lot less heartbreak and a lot more fulfillment. Consider a world in which you no longer tie your self-worth in with immediate success, with people knowing your name and one impressive fact about you, as we've become accustomed to at Bowdoin. You know what I mean, the, oh, that's Emma, she's such a good photographer kind of introduction that makes social living here just a little bit easier. However, when you disconnect identity and visible success, you will no longer walk on eggshells as you learn. Success will represent an end goal, but not the sole purpose in doing anything. You will free yourself up to learn. Before he turned in the first draft of his honors thesis, one of my best friends was having a difficult time letting go of it. I reminded him, and in doing so, forced myself to realize that the first draft of an undergraduate thesis cannot be a seminal work of political philosophy. Now, I think there is something to be extrapolated from this small example. I think that even the greats were not that great on their first attempt. We will all eventually impress, I can promise you that. But there is something untrue inherent in the verb to dazzle, something artificial and blinding, and we cannot allow the myth of our own greatness to confuse us to the complexity of attaining it. To insist on dazzling everyone around us, with the only other option being simply not attempting at all, is to close ourselves off from the reality of human relationships. We can only know the people around us and allow ourselves to be known in turn if fear of failure does not intervene, if we are not constantly blinding others to illuminate ourselves. Learn to fail publicly and learn to fail awfully. Learn, too, to fail in the most mundane ways. Learn that there are often things doing at which you will not immediately succeed. Surround yourselves with people who can read the terrible first chapter or listen to the harrowing first months of your learning to play the violin. To truly enact the liberal arts, to, dare I say, live up to the offer of the college, requires generosity to your own efforts. Except that practice, hard work, and a broad love for a vocation is worth more than what you might imagine after years of AP classes to be your own and only innate skill. Now, I have an enormous amount of faith in us all. I have faith both generally in the kinds of people Bowdoin would shape us to be, and specifically in you, the people with whom I have lived for so long. I don't expect any of you to have boring lives. Heaven knows you have made my own life entertaining for these past 4 years. I am encouraging, however, all of you, my brilliant classmates, to allow yourselves some room to try, to remember that the world is vast and open before us, and that we have so much time. Money still talks, and many of us will have to listen. Everything will count, though. Every thoroughly tedious job, every fixer-upper apartment, which there isn't money to fix up, every rotten first attempt will all come to mean something. and forward to the next 2, 10, and 20 years in which we will accomplish more than we could have imagined in our first days here. I can only imagine that it will be an honor 30 years from now to say that I knew you in the molten light room. I hope too, however, to hear in 30 years that those successes did not come easily, that you have joined and created communities of hard work and vulnerability, in which success emerges out of human connections and many, many attempts, in which you defined yourself not by the ease with which you succeeded, as I risk slipping into cliché in these final moments, but by the strength of character that you developed by learning how to fail. Thank you, class of 2018, for the work you have done and the work you will do. Thank you for letting me know you. Good luck and congratulations.
The President, and the Board of Trustees have voted 4 honorary degrees to be awarded in accordance with the authority vested in you by the Board. As Chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Letters, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, writer, Nigerian, feminist, Black, Igbo, and more. You are a Nigerian Igbo who elected to make of writing your preferred way to contribute to the common good, empowering and humanizing, helping one to be aware of the creative beauties of the imagination and of critical questions experienced by real people in the real messy world. You bring the specificities of your natal Nigeria and African continent to the fore of the global arena that you stir and highlight through challenging yet unescapable realism. Thus, you have graced the reader with texts encompassing the writing domain spectrum, such as poetry, dramaturgy, short stories, novels, and essays. This is how the reader can enjoy your collection of poems, Decisions, your play For Love of Biafra, your collection of short stories, The Fang Around Your Neck, your novels, Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun, and Americana, or your essay, Dear Ijewali, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. Although you have assured your friends and family that you have earned the right to write a disastrous book, many of your writings have earned you some of the most serious and prestigious literary prizes, such as, among many others, the MacArthur Fellowship. You have also placed the miraculous potential of words at the service of a feminist project, whereby the situation of women around the world would be seen and understood as much in its diversity and complexity as in a way that would foster definitive transformation, balance, justice, and elevation for all. I want to use my Caribbean Creole self and French pronounced Igbo here to make a plain statement in English. Chimamanda, we ifunanya you. We appreciate and see you. President Rose, on behalf of the college, I am honored to present Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie for the Doctors of Letters.
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, by virtue of the vested in me by trustees, I present you with Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Science, R. Check.
Thomas R. Check, Distinguished Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry, Director of the Colorado BioFrontiers Institute, former President fossils and meteorites. Your desire to understand the physical world led to summer research experiences at Argonne and Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, earned you a BA in chemistry from Bowdoin College and a PhD from the University of California, Berkeley. Within 5 years of joining the faculty at the University of Colorado Boulder, you were promoted to full professor and had published the work that introduced us to the world. This work demonstrated that the coding molecule RNA catalyzed its own splicing and overturned the long-held dogma that only proteins were capable of catalyzing biological transformations. Starting from tetrahymena, a sometime component of pond scum, your work offered the world a reasonable RNA-based scenario for the origins of life. As the author or co-author of more than 400 scholarly works, you have been unwilling to rest on your considerable laurels. Your work on telomeres, the ends of DNA molecules that shorten each time a cell divides, has important implication within the biologies of cancer and aging. As the president of the world's largest private biomedical research organization, HHMI, and as the director of the BioFrontiers Institute, you work to increase collaboration between siloed academic disciplines, transforming how modern biomedical science is carried out, and led initiatives to reimagine how medical education is delivered. Having said that you derived as much enjoyment studying Homer's Odyssey and constitutional law as you did chemistry, you are a strong advocate for a liberal arts education, a promoter of K-12 science, and a mentor to scores of scientists. Still known as an inspirational teacher of introductory chemistry to undergraduates, you remind us that great things also come from the teaching laboratory, as you met your wife Carol over a melting point apparatus in the organic chemistry lab at Grinnell. President Rose, on behalf of the college, I am honored to present Newcomb Cleveland Prize winner, Gregor Mendel and Othmer Gold medalist, National Medal of Science recipient, and Nobel laureate, Thomas R. Check, for the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Thomas Check, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I award you this Doctor of Sciences honoris causa.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Laws, Susan E. Rice.
Ambassador Susan Rice, you have served your country at the highest levels, most recently as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, and then as President Obama's National Security Advisor. But your global vision began much before, and your connection with Maine runs deep. Your grandparents emigrated from Jamaica to Portland. 4 uncles attended Bowdoin. Your mother, valedictorian of Portland High School and president of Radcliffe's student body, and your father, a Berkeley economics PhD, were both first-generation college graduates. They instilled in the family an obsession with education and fierce dedication to economic opportunities and justice. Born in Washington, D.C., you were a 3-sport athlete in high school, president of your student council, and valedictorian. You attended Stanford University, where you were in excel beyond belief. You earned a Rhodes Scholarship for a master's degree at Oxford University, followed by a doctorate. You were only 25. Your career would soon bring you to center stage, while most of us with PhDs can simply judge from a distance. You directed international organizations and peacekeeping in President Clinton's National Security Council, and he appointed you Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs. At 32, you were the youngest person to hold that post. During a time on the African continent marked by conflict, humanitarian emergencies, and growing security threats, you balanced the demanding job and motherhood because of your own determination, and you say, because your husband is a true partner. As a diplomat, you won respect with a combination of pragmatism and tough talk. You are described as clear-eyed, tenacious, straight-shooting, dagger-sharp, possessing intellectual heft. And so, President Rose, on behalf of the college, I am honored to present Ambassador Susan Rice for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Susan G. Rice, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I present you with this Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. I need to get organized. Bear with me for 1 second. How about a round of applause for our 3 honorands and all they've done for us this weekend? Thank you. All right, seniors, you ready? Candidati pro gradiu baccalaureale assurgite. Femina honoranda, osque juvenes cosensio idoneos primum ad gradum in artibus, nuc tibi afero, uta te instructus, eos ad grandum istum admittum. Placet ne?
Placet.
Pro auctoritate mihi commissa, admitto vos ad primum gratum in artibus, et dono et concedo omnia jura. Privilegia, honoris atque dignitates, ad gradum istum pertinentia, in cujus testimonium hosce membranas litera scriptas accipite.
Jacob Carl Adikoff. Franklin Miller Aarons. Erfan Nazir Alam. Mary Michelle Albright. Grady Edward Aldrich. Ava Reed Alexander. Corinne Taylor Alini. Rachel Elizabeth Allen. Indre Alisa Altman. Ciare Alvarez. Joseph Block Amdur. Gregory James Anrig. Spencer Wyatt Antunes. Abdul Latif Armiya. Richard Terrence Arms. Jack DeVoe Arnold. Sydney Rita Avitia Jacques. Samuel Zachary Asbell. Lillian Powell Bailey. Hannah Tahani Baldecki. Alan Ijoma Banks. Ethan Glenn Barkalow. Amber Zatelmo Barksdale. Nicholas Davis Barnes. Sarah Emily Baronsky. Haley Elise Beeman. Emily Meredith Beaulieu. Alexandra Belmore. Gordon Peter Benson. Caroline Maisie Benson. Nicholas Scott Vergil. Bridget Ardra Bergen. Catherine Kelly Berkeley. Carly Gale Berlin. Hannah Elizabeth Berman. Mark Daniel Burson. Sawyer Stephen Billings. Kristen Catherine Bishop. Haley Dakota Blaine. Camille Jacques Blanchet. Mary Brereton Bland. Lyle Boland Bleckel. Max Robin Blumenstein. Sarah Claudia Bonanno. Sarah Hilda Bonarens in absentia. Elliot Rutherford Borden. Zoe Brown Borenstein. Mason Andrew Bossy. James Philip Botello. Andrew Robert Brenner. Griffin Peter Brewer. William Richard Britton III. William Brewster Brockett. McClure William Sarah Brower. Christopher Michael Brown. Robert Lindsay Brown. Claire Allison Brunner. Marina Gabriela Bryant. Quentin Riley Hassani. Daniel Cole Buckman. Kelsey Isabel Bumgardner. Juliana Teresa Burke. Cole Robert Burkhart. Devin Campbell II. Lydia Elizabeth Caputi. Luke Carver. Jonathan Atticus Carnell. Chad Alexander Carrera. Allison Melissa Carroll. Jordan Roger Castanguay. Danielle Castro Bonilla. Karen Melissa Chan. Casey Chase. Jeremy Isaiah Shumaine Weiss. Wayland Leon Chu. Jonathan Cho. Jung-uk Choi, Dia Chopra, Jesse Otis Chung, Luke Cleary, Stephen Colleen, Julia Mary Conley, Margaret Marie Conley, Sophia Elizabeth Conwell, Hannah Hudson Cook, Joythrow Cooley, Timothy Edmund Costin, Laura Faye Cotter, Andrew Ross Cowan, Sophie Rebecca Cowan, Peter Daniel Cronin, Virginia Marie Crow, Matthew Richard Crowell, Nora Juan Cullen, John Joseph Curtin, Melissa Wendy Cusinello, Juliana Marie Dashiel, Angela Marie Dahl, Sean Daly, Marty Vu Dang, Juliette V. Dankins, Shamar Preston Davis, Claire Day, Sophie Fleur de Bruin, Corinna Alice DeHuet, Genevieve Elizabeth Gale de Curvor, Stephen John DeCarlo, Michael Anthony DeFranco, Shannon Taylor Devaney, Grace Christina DeWald, Tom Diaz, Ian David Deely, Dylan John Dilla, Charles Victor DiPasquale, Harrison Garson DiPrinzio, Nicholas John DiStefano, Ryan John Dixon, Daniel Doe, Alexander Gustav Dobbin, Connor Paul Donahue, Wendy Dong, Sarah Louise Drum, Lindsay Whitten Duff, Zach Richard Duperry, Zoe Zane Duran, Lillian Ann Eckstein, Natalie Sophia Edwards, Miriam Elbaz, Ethan Everts Ellsworth, Olivia Ellen Erickson, Genesis Escalante, Thomas Luis Escaro, Liam Francis Farley, Osahai Faseon, Anna Sophie Fauché, Nicole Therese Faleo, Vera Yujie Feng, Lee Christina Fernandez, Duncan Forbes Finnegan, Juliana Christine Fiore, Isel Rosario Fitzgerald, Justin Dean Flamenhoft, Nathaniel Max Forlini, Christabel Fosu Asari, Miriam Edith Fraga. Tanisha Francis. John Michael Fried in absentia. Aidan Jerome French. Henny Mara Friedlander. Haley Elizabeth Frisch. Louis Cortland Frumer. Diana Furukawa.
Marne Elise Gallant. Philip Dietz Galonsky. Cullen Patrick Geary. Joseph Michael Gentili. Lucia May Gibbard. Eric Tanser Giesler. Benjamin Miller Ginsberg. Elena Ariel Gleed. Jessica Taylor Gluck. Austin Recco Goldsmith. Jorge Gomez. Vianney Gomez Gil Yaspik. Alfred Steve Gonzalez. Eliza Jane Goodpasture. Blake Taylor Gordon. Caleb Matthew Gordon. Jordan Elizabeth Gowdy. Maureen Mulhern Greason. Emma Lauren Green. Brian Isaac Greenberg. Emma Hartzell Greenberg. Scout Gregerson. Jake Lohman Griffin. Stephen Michael Griffin. Noah Charles Grubman. Eric Christopher Gyong. Sarah Lundy Gilbo. Kelvin Guo. Huynh Mai Ha. Thomas Henry Spencer Haig. Dylan Case Hall. Cole Jefferson Hamill. Ellen Lee Hands. LaShonda Harbin. Sabina Rooney Hartnett. Juliana Courard Howry. Harrison Hawk. Christian Elliott Heath. Zachary Joseph Al Hebert. Cooper Mason Hemphill. Kevin Anthony Hernandez. Christopher Alexander Hernandez Turcios. Hannah Gifford Hirschfeld. Holly Samford Hornbeck. Logan Christopher Varga House. Jasper Alden Houston. Leah Rebecca Howard. Joy L. Huang. Dominic Hubbard. Adaya Mariama Hudgens Lopez. Jack Patrick Hughes. James M. Hughes. Emma Catherine Hussman. William Stouse Hutchinson. Jenny Yuan Chun Ibsen. Diego Infante. Stephanie Intal. Marianne Yodice. Samuel Richard Jablonski. Naomi Jabouin. Lucas Staley Jenkins. Michelle Zhang. Erin Lindsay Jeter. Madeline Ann Jodka. Emma Catherine Kane. Shin Hee Hong. Kayla Kaufman. Jay Nitin Kawale. Rachel Jane Kay. Ryan Christopher Keefe. Kayla Rebecca Keller. Sarah Ann Kelly. Patrick McConnell Kelly. John Andrew Keneally. Ryan Kenny. Nathaniel David Kent. Catherine Rose Kerrigan. Philip J. Kiefer. Do Yun Kim. Joyce Kim. Alexandra Elizabeth King in absentia. Catherine Frances Kirk. Shannon Marie Knight. Braden Charles Kohler. Brett Kujala. Madison Kate Curas. Samuel Alexander Kisavat. Hallie Yinmun Lam. Marshall Reed Landrum. Vincent James Larovere. Max Massey Larson. Alessandra Anchi Laurent. John Lehman. Jennings Herrera Level. Thomas Arthur Leddy. June Dao-Wen Le. Audrey Belle Lalonde. Parker Moran Lamal Brown. Juliana Grace Lewis. Ira Hanzhao Lee. Reichi Sally Lee. Yi Chen Li. Shu Jiang Lian. Emily Yukiko Nikolai. So Hyun Sarah Lim. Matthew Edward Lisson. Henry Hammond Little. Colin Davis Litz. Sophia Marie Yanso. Alexandra Margaret Logan. Sophia Isabella Lopez. Kara Elise Lopez Langowski. Nathaniel Jerome Kroll Lowe. Victoria Ann Lowry. Ellis R. Leaders. Daniel Christian Lully. Bao Chan Nok Ma, Leaf Ma, Anna Robinson McLean, Wilson Gauld McMillan, Tyler Duncan McNeil, Philip Edward Dieter Meyer, Brendan Paik Mallory, Grace Marie Mallet, Rachel Tova Mann, Ethan Hotchkiss Mao, Bettina Luis Mariano, Jude Eliana Marks, Crandall Barrett Maxwell, Paula Antonia Maimi Francis, Richard J. McAllister, Maya Ely McCabe, Claire Lee McCarthy, Sarah Ann McCarthy, Bridget Helena McFarland, Claire Meredith McInerney, Elizabeth Halsey McKinney, Sean Reginald McManus, Daniel Robert McMullen, John Manuel Medina, Matthew Edward Melanson, April Mendez, Eric Daniel Mercado, Elena Spitel Mercero, Alexandra Ida Miller, Elizabeth Catherine Miller, Nicholas Charles Mitch, Emma Katarina Mosswild, Samuel James Monkman, Louisa Hopkins Moore, Maya Danya Morduk Taubman, Alexandra Samuel Moreno, Lee Ella Moriarty, Maeve Evangeline Morse, Eric Leahy Morton, Tully Patrick Moyer, Shihao Mu, Theodore Christian Murphy, Rachel Madeline Musante,
Salam Mahmoud Nassar, Jason Stoughton Naraki, Shay Christina Nicholas, Lindsay Amanda Neitzel, Michael Joseph Neto, Jesse Newton, Osborne Yator Nigmar, Liam Monroe Nickel, Grace Ann Niles, Alisa Justos Nitzen, Maya Ablo Norman, Riley Glenn O'Connell, Grace Diane O'Connor, Jeffrey Town Odiorn III. Martinique Madeline Ogle. Ken Okawa. Lauren Eileen O'Shea. Francesco Silvestro Papalardo. Gabriela Julia Papper. Catherine Ann Paris. Dylan Hurst Parsons. Matthew Robert Pascal. Arnav Patel. Linnea Rose Patterson. Matthew Peckney. Amanda Noel Perkins. Haley Aruda Perkins. Lauren Ann Petit. Shekinah K. Petway. Ellen Pham. Charles Edward Phillips III. Totsapun Punchari. John Hannah Petro in absentia. Brian Alexander Porter. August Robert Pott. Andrew Philip Prescott. Catherine Ellis Price. Jamie Lynn Potasic. Grace Anlim Punzalan. Alexander Ryan Pupo Wiss. Brian Pushy. Jaime Quirante. Andrew Briggs Reisner. Lily Macaria Shimane Ramos. Damian Alexander Ramsdell in absentia. Jillian Wiley Rathke. Mariah Lynn Rodding. Daniel Elias Reckschaffen. Jacob J. Reiben. Ariana Arroyo Reichert. David McElroy Reichert. Hannah Skogstad Renedo. Morgan Riley. Paola Alejandra Rios. Cindy Diana Rivera. Gilbert Morgan Roddy III. Connor John Rooney. Caroline Byrne Rosen. Helen Galvin Ross. Virginia Tully Ross. Espiridion Ruiz Orea. Sharida Rustanavibul. Nicholas Michael Sadler. Ryan Mark Sanborn. Madeline Marie Schultz. Kendall Robin Schutzer. Nathaniel Pincus Schwartz. Evan Wiley Schweikert. Whitaker Mayfield Severns. Camille Elizabeth Serrano. James Parker Sessions. Samuel William Conroy Shaheen. Kenneth Lee Shapiro. Jack Christopher Sharland. Devlin Shea. William David Shepard. Sirkeen Marie Isabel Sherry. Linda Chambly Shufflebarger. Benjamin Gus Sickle. Cesar David Siguencia Jr. Savannah Marie Simmons Grover. Logan Michael Simon. Oliver Diaz Sipple. Andrew Raymond Sisti. John Curtis Sledge. Samantha Sloat. Krista Lillian Smith. Molly Jane Snyder. Charles David Southwick. Mariama So. Thomas Joseph Spagnola. David Ethan Spezia Lindner. Sarah Barbara Spicer. Karina Allison Spiro. Rowan Killian Staley. Meredith Emery Stanhope. Kyle Matthew Stanley. Austin Nicholas Stern. Emma French Stevens. Rain Kellen Stone. Rachel Elizabeth Stout. James Freeman Strabley. Dia Davy Sue. Stephanie A. Sun. Samuel Elias Swain. Nevin Shanley Swanson. Christina Tamai. Brewer William Taylor. Elizabeth Claire Teeter. Luke Mark Tursick. Rebecca Leela Tesfamariam. Alexa Adriana Tamavungsa. Phoebe Linnea Thompson. Ana Gracia Timoni Gomez. Eric Dean Timms. Charlie Sinclair Tom. Benjamin Henry Sullivan Torda. Sarah Castorino Trenton. Teresa Diaz Trinca. Roy William Sau in absentia. Liam Max II. Nicholas John Bayless. Stephen Van Sicklin. Cesar Varela. Alexander Byron Vasiliou. Hefty Vergara Benitez. Noah Steinberg Verzani. Max Henry Vogel. Max Vogel Friedman. Nicole Saniano von Wiltshire. Trevor Houston Vroom. Samuel Arlington Walks. Connor Crosby Walsh. Philip Wang. Enong Ned Wong. Samuel William Ward. Jacob Knox Wasserman. Caroline McHugh Watt. Jonah Gordon Watt. Elizabeth Eden Weathers. Justin Isaiah Weathers. Jessica Ruth Weber. Sarah Jane Weil. Luke Daniel Weiss. Kaylee Kimura Weiss. Tessa Carly Westfall. Hunter R. White II in absentia. Spencer Larson Wiest. Jingxi. Jae Yun Yu. John Paul Young. Rachel Alicia Zaffron. Ethan Zhou. Zong Cho. Lily Craig Zildjian. Victor Reed Zerlo. Aaron Robert Zweig.
How about one more round of applause to express pride in our newest Bowdoin graduates? Shinhee Kang, Senior Class President, will now offer a few words.
Thank you, President Rose. Members of the college, guests, families, and friends, it is an honor to be standing up here today. 4 years ago, 500 of us left our respective natal grounds and converged in the small college in Maine. In these halls of learning, you took a seminar that profoundly disrupted your preconceived notions. You pored over books, from classics to contemporary works, that piqued your curiosity. You discovered people with whom you share the deepest consonances of thought and character. You learned not to view people as one-dimensional vessels of ideology, but to see them for their multifaceted selves. You left indelible marks on this campus through the traditions you began, the events you hosted, the questions you posed, and the petitions you started. You met someone you can look to in the eye and say, "You have changed my life." You found the vocabulary and the verbal energy to speak about your identity and lived experience. You changed in that you stayed who you are. The change was that you no longer felt the need to change for anybody else and rather embraced yourself. Upon seeing the coast of Maine, you thought, "This is what it means to be beautiful." And then, feeling the presence of your friend beside you, you thought again, "This is what it is to be happy." You failed, you were wronged, you felt lost, you lost someone, but you overcame what seemed insuperable and felt your own resilience. And in times when you felt the institution failed you, you stepped up and filled the void. We will always be indebted to the life we were allowed to lead here that produced and nurtured us. It is a great privilege to have a seat amongst this graduating class. For those who aren't here today, all their would-haves have been our opportunities. Some of us may not have fully realized this and seized these opportunities. Perhaps much of the content earlier in my speech, those anaphoric U's, did not ring true to you. What can be done now when our time at Bowdoin has already lapsed? Our time, and Bowdoin's time, still has a long way to go. The ineffable value of our diploma, which manifests itself in more ways than one, obligates us to give. I am proud to announce that as of this morning, 64% of the class has participated in the senior class gift, which will be a scholarship awarded to an incoming member of the class of 2022. Thanks to the generosity of many, our legacy will be one which gives a student the opportunity to actualize those aforementioned would-haves and benefit from the great privilege of a Bowdoin education. And now we gather here at the cusp of real adulthood, about to set out onto virgin territory. Although our trajectory here was not without difficulty, Bowdoin was ultimately a place where things were made easy. Every day was saturated with opportunities for growth, if you took it. After Bowdoin, the lessons we'll learn will no longer be derived from the bevy of course offerings that magically materialize on Polaris biannually. We won't have luminaries like Roxane Gay and Nicholas Kristof coming to our doorsteps to grace us with their presence. We won't be neatly configured into classrooms and teams and dorms with people who you otherwise would never have associated with, but actually deeply appreciated. Bowdoin has laid the predicate for further engagement. Now, it is we who must seek and strive for future convergences. Moving forward, my hope is that we will continue to take hold of stray thoughts and commit to developing ideas fully so that they take root. Embrace discomfort in service to personal growth, resisting complacency and stagnation at all costs. That we guard against intellectual mediocrity or laziness and willed ignorance. That we do not remain supine in the face of injustice and the seismic pressures that threaten our society today. That we take seriously the responsibility of civic education. That we listen and learn about the intimate, immediate experience of hurts and aspirations not our own. That we will always harbor deep devotion to learning and to giving. Our time here, one that has brought us so much change, was always going to be transient. So I want to take the time to honor and give an effusive thanks to those who have been our constants. Members of the faculty, our beloved professors, and members of the staff, including security, counseling services, dining services, housekeeping, and groundskeeping. These are the people who have been here before us, stayed here with us throughout our ephemeral time here, and will continue to stay to every day make Bowdoin the place that it is. It is under their tutelage and their support that we were able to experience Bowdoin in the way that we did. Long after we depart, they will pass along the spirit of the college to those who will come after us, as they always have, and for that they deserve this honor. Before I end, please spare a moment for me to address my parents, who have been sitting in the audience, watching me speak in an unknowable tongue. 엄마, 그리고 아빠, 오늘의 모든 영광을 두 분에게 바칩니다. Finally, to my class, my fellow graduates, we came to Bowdoin allured by the proverbial offer of the college. Remember that this offer can and should extend beyond what it has imbued us with in these mere 4 years. The caveat is that now we ourselves must will it to continue. What is past is only prologue, and now we offer ourselves to the world. Thank you. Congratulations to the class of 2018.
Many congratulations again to our newest graduates, the class of 2018. Following the recessional, we invite our graduates, family, and friends to Farley Fieldhouse for lunch. And I now invite George Lopez and our seniors who are in the chamber choir, chorus, and student a cappella groups to come forward and lead us in the singing of our alma mater. The words are on the back of your program, and I would ask you, if you are able, to please stand.
Will guests please remain seated until the recessional march has passed? 213th Commencement of Bowdoin College is concluded.